Hello, we're back in Chandler with Miss Linda. Last time we were here with Linda, we were planting her drift roses back in the fall. So it's been, well, it's what? So it's been about half a year since we left Linda to fend for her roses.
Yes.
So we replaced some lantana that weren't looking too good in the front yard for her with drift groundcover roses. And Linda was telling me that she did get a lot of compliments on the way that they were looking.
There's this community has a lot of activity, a lot of walkers, and I had so many people as they're walking by inquire. They really inquired about the roses. They didn't realize that there's ground cover roses. I even had one guy who happened to catch me out there in his car, stopping me and asking me what I had planted. So I was able to share the information about drift roses being a ground cover rose.
Yeah, so hopefully those people found them online or found one of your videos and is able to plant them and take good care of them.
Yep.
So Linda was so excited about these roses. How many more you bought?
I just got two more this past week.
And then plus you bought two hybrid teas.
Yes, two hybrid teas. Those were such a great deal at Costco. I couldn't pass it up. So
Yes, and someone else commented on one of my videos that they have roses for very good price. What was the price?
that was $17, and they were in a 3 or 4 gallon. It was a good sized container.
So, yeah, Costco. Yeah. So, Linda's been really liking the little roses. They're mini little roses, and they bloom in really big clusters, and they're very cute.
Very prolific, yes.
Yes, and so Linda in her front yard did have a little bit of issue. We had two issues, right, Linda? One with the bunnies and one with some spider mites.
Yes, I had no idea rabbits like roses. I found out the hard way because first I saw an entire cane was ripped off, and then the little buds were gone, and then the little new leaves. I was really worried about the plant. It was like half of it disappeared. And then I went and got at Home Depot some plastic covered wire and made a little wire cage. And I bought what they call liquid fence. I got the granules, and that keeps the rabbits away, and it does work. I just recently, probably the end of April, beginning of May, I pulled one of the wire cages off to make sure that the liquid fence was keeping the rabbits away, and then I pulled both of them off. And so now I don't have that little cage around them. I had a lot of people ask about that too, so I had to share the information about the rabbits liking
Yeah.
the roses. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't realize there's so many rabbits in your neighborhood. I think
yeah,
depending on where you are in Phoenix, you're gonna have more or less rabbits. I guess we're kind of out here in the depths of Chandler, so there are some rabbits. So if rabbits are kind of an issue, I would probably recommend the liquid fence or the backyard, obviously,
right.
if you've got a wall, which most houses here do. And I think that you probably just don't have as many rabbits as, like, I don't think they're as desperate for food, so I think the liquid fence is doing a fine enough job.
Not only that, this is a retirement community. Some people are probably even feeding them. Just not my neighbors, okay?
Some people, yes, they're probably feeding the pigeons too. So.
So the second issue that I had, and it really started with the container rose, were mites. And by the time I saw my container roses with the little spider webs everywhere, I sprayed them 2 days in a row. Then I hit them real hard with a hose, and all I had left were basically sticks. But it's such a hardy little rose, they came right back with good growth on them, and they're looking really good. That's these two that are right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones in the ground, I went and sprayed those. They did have some mites on them, but not as bad as the ones in the containers. So I don't know if it spread, but the spray took care of it. So now I'm doing preventative spraying just to make sure I don't get any insects on them.
But like Linda said, they're a very hardy little plant, and they did spring back very well for her. I'm looking at them right now, and they look really good. I'm really excited to see them Next year when they really fill in more,
Yes,
they're going to look
yeah.
really good.
Now, being in a container has been a little challenging in the beginning. I have a drip system, and I had them on a button drip, which was 1 gallon an hour. And that turned out to be too much. The leaves started turning yellow, so I pulled them off, and then I was just soaking them as they needed the water. I would just soak it with a hose real good, kind of like a flood irrigation in my pot, basically. Since I have moved them now back to the backyard, and the only reason I moved them to the backyard is that aesthetically I want it to go with what we have going on here, and I have 2 additional ones out where these were. That's the only reason I moved them to the backyard. But I have them on an adjustable umbrella with the drip system that you can adjust it anywhere from 0 up to like 10 gallons an hour. So I'm playing with it, and at the same time I'm watching them and still giving them water as I think they need it. And I'm trying to find that happy medium where it's not too much water to give them yellow leaves and yet enough to make them nice and happy.
And I actually did on my drift roses. I got powdery mildew on them as well.
Yep.
I forgot I was watering a couple times, and they did get powdery mildew. But at the same time, it's not too harmful. They'll be fine with the powdery mildew. It's fine. You can spray them with an antifungal real quick. And they still bloomed. It didn't harm the plant in any way. But it does show you that they don't need as much water as you think they might need.
Right.
And in fact, that was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to see how they would do on your drip where you had your lantana, because I think that they'll need the same amount of water. I think they don't need.
No, it's the same.
Yeah.
The ones in the ground, it's the same amount of water as those lantanas, so you were absolutely correct. I didn't have to make any adjustments. Just when we first planted them, I gave them a little extra water until they got established. But other than that, they are on the same drip system, so no problem.
And the only thing is we will want to see how they do in the summer. I'm very curious to see. I think they'll do fine on the same watering schedule that you had your lantana on, but we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. So the bigger thing is bugs with the roses. But if you don't have 50 roses like I do, you just have a handful. They're very easy to spray once a week, once every couple of weeks. You just spray them down quick, and it should. I think it's worth the spraying for the lovely blooms.
Oh, especially when I lost all the leaves off the plant with that mite. To me, it doesn't take that much to spray these little roses just to keep them happy and have very pretty little flowers, very prolific bloomers, so very happy.
All right. Well, thank you, Linda. We can go around and show how. So Linda, if you haven't seen the videos that I did with Linda, we replaced 2 in the front yard. They're in the ground. She had these 2. We're in her backyard right now. She had these 2 drifts and pots in the front yard. Like she said, she's moved them back here because they look nice right here next to her little bird bath. And then she got 2 more. She just got them,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
This week.
Tuesday.
As soon as I got home, I planted them. So.
Okay, so she got 2 new pots for the front, and those are the peach ones.
Yes.
Yep. So she got 2 more drift. They're in the front yard in front of her bay window, and then you can also take a look at her hybrid teas from Costco. See how they're doing.
So I actually did have 2 lantanas back here. And my husband removed those, and rather than putting the drift in the ground, he thought it would look aesthetically nicer to have the pots. And I must say I do agree with him because we have a little bird bath, so
yeah,
works
it
good.
It looks really cute, and we've got more lantana out.
Yes. I'm much happier with the drift rose than the lantanas.
So, okay, well, I'm really glad to hear that, and let's go take a look at them.
Okay.
So here are her 2 pots that she moved from the front yard right next to the bird bath. I think it looks nice. Like she said, there used to be 2 lantana there. So she's got drip irrigation here already. And that's how she's been watering these. Like she said, she's just been keeping her eye on this. I believe it's every day for 45 minutes. And it's been working for her so far. Okay, so this rose, actually, this is the one that she said got attacked by spider mites. She sprayed the rose down with a hose, and this is the one where all of the leaves fell off of it. So that was about a month and a half ago, and you can see it rebounded very nicely. Like I said, these are very hardy little roses. And it looks very happy, healthy, and the blooms are so cute and little. This is the peach drift rose, and you can see there's a ton of new growth coming up on these, and they look nice and green. So Linda is doing a great job here with this little rose. It is young, but I suspect that probably next year it will, we can get it to train over the kind of the sides of the pot, and it'll look really cute when it blooms. Okay, these are the 2 hybrid tea Costco roses that Linda got in. They look really nice. She planted these in spring, which is a nice time here in Arizona to be planting roses. They look quite nice. The only thing I wanted to point out was she did notice that this one is growing a little funky. So this main stalk right here looks normal. These little cane shoots growing off to the side, this looks to me like it's possibly so they typically graft the roses, so you'll have a hardier root system, and then kind of like a prettier top of the plant, if you will. And this looks to me like the plant that it was grafted to, because the leaves are different and it is growing in a different pattern. We'll see. She'll just keep her eye on this and see how it does. The one next to it looks much more normal. It looks really good. It looks like this one shouldn't have any issue. So these are the 2 brand new roses that she just planted on Tuesday in these little pots here. They came, in the mail, so they're probably not the happiest that they're going to be in their lives, just being in the mail and being shipped to a very hot climate. But they're looking pretty good. It's kind of late, in my opinion. It's a little late to be trying to get roses established right now here in Arizona, but she takes good care of it. It should be fine. Other than that, it's just going to get really hot here, so she'll just have to make sure that they're doing okay in their new home. So these ones here in the ground, these ones were the ones that did have issues with the rabbits. The liquid fence is doing its job for now. We can give an update, but it's bounced back pretty well. It's got new foliage on it, and it should, as long as we just water and fertilize and can keep the rabbits off of it, this should look really, really nice here for Linda in the front yard. The new foliage that's coming up on this looks really good. So, and then here in the summer, they're not going to look their best. They're not. They do their best here in fall, winter, spring. So the summer's not gonna be their brightest hour, but they're still blooming, and they're right now they're obviously small because they're brand new and they got eaten by rabbits. Okay, so this one is the other one in her front yard. It did get eaten a little bit by rabbits. You can see the liquid fence around, hopefully keeping them away. They've got it's got some cute little blooms on it. The new growth on this looks really nice, so we'll just have to keep our eye on the water. The biggest thing, we'll just make sure that it's getting watered through the summer, and I'm sure Linda will keep her eye on it and let us know how much water they did in fact need, and how she set her drip irrigation for these guys. Okay, so these emitters, these are probably the traditional emitters that you find in most irrigation systems. So this would be kind of your traditional 1 gallon per hour head. Linda did get these for the pots just so that she could adjust 0 to 35 gallons per hour, so she could adjust it up or down. So she is going to keep her eye on them over the summer and adjust as needed. Here is Linda's, just kind of the stuff that she's been using. This one's a 3-in-1 that you can apply systemically or with your watering. So this one has a fertilizer, insect control, disease control. I don't know if this is the best for powdery mildew or black spot. I think that it does okay. It's okay. And then same thing with the insect control. This systemic I think is okay, but the fertilizer in it should be fine. And then just you know, any rose and flower insect killer is always good to have on hand when the bugs do get out of control. You can kind of knock them back pretty easy with these sprays. Easier probably than this 3-in-1. And then this was the liquid fence that she was using, along with the little gate just to get it established. So again, she said that this liquid fence was working for her here in Chandler. So if you're in Chandler and you want to try and get a little ground cover rose established, you can pick this up at any store, right?
I got it at Home Depot.
Yeah, this one's from Home Depot.